Welcome back, you
Welcome
guys.
back.
Talks between us with Vince and Jasmine. Hey, babe.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good.
Looking lovely over there. Just sitting.
Thank
looking
you.
like a-
Thank you.
Looking like a queen. Just gorgeous. Beautiful. Man, sorry, y'all. I just got caught up. But anyway, welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Talks Between Us, live from our living room,
On our
$1
couch.
million studio living room. We are here on our couch, and man, we couldn't be more thrilled, more excited to be back. First off, with each other,
Yes,
of course.
yes.
Well, we live with each other, so we're always with each other.
Right.
But with each other in this capacity.
Right,
anyway. And with, of course, all of you as well. And wow, it's Christmas. It is Christmas. We're down to the end of the year. Christmas is here. New Year's Day is around the corner. And man, what a year 2023 has been for the world, for the culture, for us as a family. And we're just excited. We're excited, despite any challenges or I don't even want to say despite. We're just excited. I mean,
Yeah.
challenges, just part of life. Issues, things, that's just part of life. And so we're happy. We're excited, and we love doing what we do, which is sit here and talk about our life, talk about relationships, talk about marriages, things that have worked, things that haven't worked, and thank you guys so much for listening. So today it's our 5th episode. Actually, before I do that. We just hit another milestone in our marriage. Some of y'all may be able to guess, but babe, you want to tell them what our most recent milestone is?
So it was our 13th anniversary, December 17th, which was Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So happy anniversary.
Do you know what today is? It's our anniversary. Oh, yes.
Yes.
13 years.
13 years.
In the bank.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're excited. Looking forward to doing this all over again next year for year 14. And so as it's so crazy, like the year ends, but like we start the new year
Right.
of our marriage. So today is our 5th episode. I'm going to title it. I'm a pastor at heart, so I love putting titles on stuff. But today's episode is going to be about communication, but it's going to be titled, I Hear You.
I hear you. That's good.
I hear you. Babe, guess what?
You hear me?
I hear you. Yeah. You think you know me. You swear you know somebody. Yes, it's called I Hear You. And so it's going to be all about communication. Not just what you say, but how you say it.
Tone of voice.
Tone of voice, demeanor, body language, posture. There's so much that you say. Not you. I'm talking to you because I'm saying you. But there's so much a person says even without them opening their mouth.
Oh, yeah.
The way
For
you
sure.
sit, like take this podcast on YouTube. You can see us on YouTube. And so like your posture, our posture on this couch will tell people how interested we are in doing this podcast.
And my facial expressions tell it all. I mean, you can ask Vince. Like, those that know me, my face, I don't have to say anything. But these facial expressions,
Words,
they tell a story.
bars. yeah. And so we're going to talk a little bit about all of that today. And so getting right into our talk, what would you say is your biggest takeaway from our marriage when it comes to communication from year 1 all the way to year now? If you could just kind of share your feedback, your one major
Well,
takeaway.
let me just say I'm super duper excited for this episode because communication is my thing. Okay, I had to learn a lot in regards to communication. So in the beginning of our marriage, I was a talk at Vince type of spouse. And what that means is I really can't verbally articulate it. But in my mind, this is what talk at a person means. That is talk at a person. And I was an expert at talk at a person, okay? But then I realized, well, Jasmine, that doesn't work because Vince brought it to my attention that when I do that, or when I did that, he was shut down and he wasn't listening to anything that I have to say or that I had to say. So I had to learn how to take a step back and talk to him in conversation. And so by me talking at him, it was more so blaming. I was blaming him. I wasn't, hey, you did this and I felt this way. It was, you did this. And he just went into automatic shutdown. And so it has been a journey relearning how to have proper communication.
A journey relearning.
Yep, a
Rhyming.
journey relearning
Okay,
to
bars.
learn how to have proper communication. And so now I'm a listener. I listen to what he's saying. Do you say I'm a listener?
Yeah, and you don't blame, you explain.
Yeah.
Blaming versus explaining.
I
And
definitely
so,
explain
yeah.
my emotions much better. I articulate
Mhm.
my emotions much better. But I'm also listening to I'm listening before I respond because I was the type of person where I had to have the last say. So I wasn't listening to you. I was just ready to finish what I had to say before you
Mm.
started, whatever you had to say.
Yeah.
And so we have come a long way when it comes to communication. And let me just say, the way that I've learned to communicate with Vince, I've also learned how to communicate with my friends, and not just my friends, but also my clients, and just people in general. I'm listening to you. I'm listening to what you have to say before I respond. So, yeah.
And I would say, I mean, kind of ask the question. I'll answer it more directly, but I would say yes, you are a listener, and I say that because not because you're just simply not talking while I'm talking,
Mhm.
but when I'm done talking, the response content you give me
Mhm.
makes sense with what I just said.
Mm.
So it's just like, oh wow, she was listening to me
Mm.
because was her
I like
response
that feedback.
to what I said,
Yeah.
not just it's like I'm talking to you about like the Bucks game and they lost or whatever the case may be, and then you come back with like, oh yeah, that's cool. So what we doing for dinner? And it's
Yeah.
like,
You were not listening to me.
but I'm talking to you about the Bucks game. Why are you
Yeah.
talking about what? So that lets me know like, wow, you're not distracted while listening.
Mhm.
You're not talk over. You're not just talking and just waiting for me to finish talking, but like the content you provide in response to me venting or asking a question. Like I've become a lot more comfortable just like venting.
Mm.
Like I'll just
You
call
have.
you, and I would not always like that
You have.
because again, like what I brought into the marriage was being misunderstood and not accepted and not being heard and stuff like that. And so being open enough to share some of that stuff, knowing what your response is going to be now, it's like, okay, I can call you on the way home from work or from wherever and just vent, and you'll just let me do it and just listen. And when I'm done saying everything I gotta say, um, the content in your response
Mhm.
is valuable, and whether if it's something I want to hear right then and there, or if it is something I want to hear right then and there,
Mhm.
like I'm open to receive and I'm listening and I'm waiting for it. So like, but it took me a long time to get to that point. And at the end of the day and the beginning of the day,
Mhm.
uh, communication comes down to
Mm.
having that safe place and safe space. And for me, like what is that? What is that safe place that people say? Oh, I have a safe place with my husband. Oh, I have a safe place with my wife. I have a safe space with my family, whatever the case may be. And I feel that the two pillars of a safe space is empathy and grace.
Mhm.
Empathy is I'm listening to you, I can relate to you, I've been through the same thing, so I empathize with you. I'm right there with you. I can sit in that situation with you because yes, I lost a loved one. Yes, I got a bad grade on the test or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
And then grace for me in this context, in a relationship, is like I have no relatability to what you just went through. I never drank. I never did this. I never did that, or whatever the case may be. But grace, me giving grace, allows you and me allows you to grow through that thing that you're telling me, even though I don't relate to what you're saying per se. And so that is what creates, I feel, a safe space, at least for me, knowing that you're going to give me grace and you're going to empathize with my
Yeah.
situation. So,
And safe place, like just the word, it always made me cringe because it's such a word that's like so cliche. Like I always
yeah.
hear people say, "Oh, safe place, safe place, safe place," and they truly don't know the definition of what safe place means. But I can honestly and truly say that you've given me a safe place to be Jasmine, to be
Mm,
vulnerable, to be transparent, where I literally can share everything with you
mm,
and I don't feel any type of judgment or shame. I
wow.
can bring my most deepest, darkest secrets, thoughts, opinions. I can tell you anything, and I know that. Well, for one, I trust you,
Mm,
but I know that you're gonna listen, and you're also going to help me navigate through whatever that thing is. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, and also I feel heard because whenever you're communicating with someone, you want to feel heard. You want to feel like your voice matters. There have been so many situations where I felt like I didn't have a voice, and a lot of people that know me may say, "What? You know, like you're always vocal." But the thing is that that's a persona.
Mm,
That's a persona. But behind closed doors, I used to feel, and Vince never made me feel this way, but just throughout life, I used to feel that what I said did not matter. And so the environment that Vince have created in our home, in our relationship, in our marriage, I feel like I can shout from the rooftop,
mm.
and I know that I'm going to be heard. And so that's definitely important to make sure that um, a person feels heard and they feel like their voice is valued.
Yeah.
You know,
Something you said too that you like that I am able to do and be consistent with is help you navigate through things that you communicate to me.
right?
And that's been a struggle for a lot of my life, with you and just relationships and just with people in general, is because, and it may be just how just men are wired,
Hmm.
but like I want to fix everything.
Yeah,
You bring something to me, I'm already in fix it
you want
mode.
to be.
Before you even halfway done telling me what the problem
Yeah,
is, I'm already in my mind jotting down notes, making mental notes, trying to figure out how to make it go away, how to
yeah.
fix it, how to solve it. Because, but I guess it, well, not I guess, it
You want to be
does.
a savior, and you're
Yeah,
not a savior,
it comes from a good place of, because I don't want to see you
right?
cry.
Of
I
course.
don't want to see you upset. I don't want to see you have a bad day. I don't want to see those things. So it's like, Superman to the rescue. Do,
Hmm.
do, do. Like, how can I make the day better? And it's like, and if I can't make the day better, then I feel less of a man. If I can't fix it now and make you smile immediately, then I feel less of a, well, I'm not the husband she wants. I'm not the man she wants. I'm not this and that. Those are all thoughts that are in my head.
Hmm.
You've obviously never made me feel that way, but like that's been a struggle for me, is listening to not just fix it and make it better, but to like understand that there are often times where you just want to be heard. Vince, are you even listening to me right
There's
now,
been situations
or
where
you
you've
just
tried to like fix things, and I kind of get upset. I'm like, can I just listen? I mean, I'm sorry, can
can
you
you
just
just
listen?
listen?
Because
Yeah,
I really just need to get this off my chest. I
right,
don't want you to fix anything. I kind of know how to fix it.
right.
I just want to vent.
Right now, I'm just frustrated.
That's it.
I need you to hear
That's
my
all it is.
frustrations. I don't
Yeah.
need you to fix this problem.
Right.
I know the answer. I know
Right.
it's going to be okay. Right
Right.
now, I'm just frustrated.
Yeah.
Let me
Let
be,
me get it
just
out.
let me be frustrated for a little bit.
Right.
For a little bit.
And then there's times that I do need you to help me navigate,
Right.
but guess what? I communicate that to you.
Exactly.
So I say, "Hey Vince, I need you to help me navigate, whatever this is, whatever the problem is," and you do that.
And what you do and what you've done, the most things that you've said, it's a, because I listen for certain keywords or
Mhm.
phrases. It's just I'm just wired like that. But you'd be like, so what did you think I should do?
Mm, yeah.
And so, but and you ask me that before you do, before you try to do whatever it is the situation calls for, because you were like, Vince, before I call this person back, or
Respond.
before I respond, or before I ABCXYZ,
How should I
what do you think I
respond?
should do?
Mhm.
Because I was gonna say this,
Mhm.
I was gonna do that,
Mhm.
and then I'll be like, Okay. So, which is helpful for me because I don't want to just tell you what to do
Right.
because that's something I would do.
Right.
I want you to feel comfortable with your response. Now, I'll add to it. I'll
Yeah.
nip and tuck your response or whatever, but I want to empower you to like to respond or to react. And so, but that's part of marriage. That's part when I mean day one, year one wasn't like that. So we have
Mm-mm.
to grow into that to just not being that fixer person. So um
And I think that, I mean, because I deal with that too when it comes to like my friends. You want to save the day. You want to
mm,
give them a solution to their problem.
mm,
However, from what I learned when it came to our marriage, I also bring it into my friendships and I bring it into my workplace. Sometimes people just need to vent, they need you to listen. And I don't have to feel the pressure of trying to solve someone else's problem that God may be doing
trying
something.
to use
Right. God may be trying to use that situation, to kind of bring them either closer to him, or it could be a
a
number
number.
of reasons.
Hmm.
But I used to feel the weight of, oh my gosh, they have this problem. I would even come to you, like, what should I say? Like, what should I say?
In real time.
You're like, hey, like, you can't conjure up a
Yeah.
solution. You can't
But
make up a solution.
if we could be honest, it feels good sometimes to play Jesus.
It does.
It feels good to be the person that says, or it feels good to be the person that people can say, man, I can call Vince anytime. I can text Vince anytime.
Mhm.
He always got a good word for me. He always got this. He always got
Until
that.
you don't.
Until you don't,
Yeah.
now it's like, well, dang, now I got to figure it out because I have this reputation of having the answer.
Yeah.
And it's like, or I have this reputation of being powerful or being this or being
Right.
that or whatever. And it's like, it's not about that at all.
No.
And that's a struggle, like in marriage, because again, being a husband, like I want you to look at me as the person that can fix everything. Like my
Mhm.
husband, my husband, my husband, my husband. He is it. And it's like I have to be okay with, hey, you know what, babe? I don't know.
And you're finally there.
But at the same time, I'm never gonna get through it together.
You're finally there because you did have that pressure, and I had to remind you, like, you don't have to have that pressure.
And you
As
said
long as you're by
that,
my
that I'm
side,
not by myself.
you're not by
too. You said
yourself.
that a lot.
And now, because of that, like, even when it comes to like my friendships, I'm like, listen, you have this problem. Let me tell you something. We can pray about it. You can get it off your chest. You can vent. You can talk about it. But that's all I have for you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't solve this problem for you because I'm not God.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not him.
We going back and forth, back and forth, back and
No,
forth.
we can't do that. And I have peace now,
Mm.
and I don't have that pressure of, well, I'm less of a friend or I'm less of a spouse because I don't have the solution to the problem. Well, that's not for me to have.
Mm.
And so that unwanted pressure, I don't have to have that on me anymore.
Mhm.
So communication is definitely important. Being intentional. Let's also talk about being intentional about communication. If there is something that bothers you, use your voice. We tell our daughter all the time. Because sometimes, she tends to like shut down when she can't articulate her words.
But it's on her face too.
And it's on her face. And we have to explain to her, like, listen, you have to advocate for yourself.
Use your words.
We cannot advocate for you as much as you want me to go down to that school, right? And show out. I can't do that. You have to use your words. And even when it comes to Vince and he had to learn to use our words, because let me tell you something. There'll be situations where I will literally hold all of my feelings and emotions in, and then 3 months down the line, we get in an argument, and like I have a 55-page list of all these things that he did that I didn't like, and he's like, "Wait,
Where did this come from?
where did this come from? This happened like 2 years ago. You're just not bringing it to my attention." So whenever you are feeling any type of way of what your spouse or anybody in your life, because let me tell you this, we're not just talking about marriages, we're talking about relationships,
Mhm.
okay? If you feel like someone wronged you, if you feel like someone said something that may have offended you, whatever it is, bring it right then and there. There have been situations where I've assumed people felt a certain way just for me to have a sit down with them and to realize That's not even what it was.
At all. Yeah.
I'm up here like
Yeah.
making up like scenarios in my mind, and just a simple conversation puts the end of all my assumptions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Communicate.
Because communication breeds trust.
Yeah.
And you know, the biggest piece, I think, I guess I know something that I've been working on, or I have had to work on, is if I don't tell you, then you won't know.
I would. Oh my God.
You will never know.
Preach.
If I don't, if I just,
Preach.
if I just come in the living room, sit on the couch, turn the TV on, I can't just assume you're gonna come out here so we can watch a movie or whatever is in my mind. Like, I have to say, hey, babe, let's watch a movie tonight. Let's get some kettle corn and some Twizzlers.
But you know, I was really bad at that.
But,
Like, I was. It would. So again, and I may have mentioned this in the beginning of the podcast about my facial expressions.
Mm-hmm,
But like, it would be written all over my face that I had a problem with something,
mm-hmm.
and Vince would ask me like, "Hey, babe, what's wrong?" And I'm like, "Nothing." But he's like, "But something clearly is wrong because I see it on your
It's
face."
written all over your face.
I don't know that song.
It
so I
ain't a
can't.
song. I just made it up.
Oh, okay. But
It's a song in my heart.
so yeah, like communicate whatever it is that needs to be communicated. You know, we're not mind readers. No one is a mind reader. And so you can't assume that someone knows what you're thinking. And then don't get mad when that person is not pressing you about sharing what your thoughts are and you're not willing to share them.
So no, because I'm sitting here thinking, and I've seen posts and stuff on social media where people have said like the other person should be able to like sense or like pick up on, and if you see my face is a certain way, then you should automatically know. And I'm just like,
Who has
I'm like, I don't
That's exhausting.
have time to play these guessing games.
That's exhausting.
And ring around the rosy and hokey pokey and all this other like
Hide and seek.
hide and seek, peekaboo. Nope, you wrong. So I'm just gonna stay
Yeah.
mad. Like I don't. Who wants to be in a relationship like that?
too much.
When all you have to do, going back to the other episodes, like marriage exposes you.
Mm-hmm.
That shows you have a problem with communication. I'm not saying that's a bad thing or like condemning, but like it should open your eyes to see like, wow, it has nothing to do with Jasmine,
Yeah.
but everything to do with me.
Mhm.
Let me identify that root of why I struggle with that.
Yeah.
You know, I was going back and watching one of the clips that we had did. It's like it really is being mature with yourself.
Yeah.
Sit on the couch
Yeah.
and have a conversation. It sounds crazy, Vince, you talking to yourself. No, I am self-evaluating when I sit on the couch and I realize what I need to do to grow. I can put my feelings on the couch
Mhm.
and I can say, wow, I'm a procrastinator,
Mhm.
and talk through and identify the root of that procrastination.
And why you procrastinate?
And why you procrastinate.
Yeah.
Identify the root of that communication.
Mhm.
Identify the root of that frustration or that anger. Because it has nothing to do with you.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So if something does come up that you may have said or done, it's because of something that happened before you. And so a lot of times that's what creates a wall of communication, because we don't know how to communicate our expectations. We automatically assume based off of how we was raised. Well, I saw my mom talk to my dad like that. So
That's good.
I saw my dad, do this around my mom. So, but that doesn't automatically make
So
it
we
right.
think right.
It doesn't automatically make
Right.
it right.
We think that, well, that's the way that I just communicate.
Mhm.
But no, that's not the way you just communicate. That's a communication. That's a way of communication that you've picked up
Mhm.
by looking, at how your parents may have talked, or,
Mhm.
the things that you picked up. But before we end this podcast, this episode, what are some recommendations that you have for
Yeah. So I'm gonna say these two things kind of quick,
Uh-huh.
but it's not really an experiment, but something I've tried here recently with you
Mhm,
over text. You may have picked up on it, you may not have,
mhm.
but I've been trying to work towards better communication.
Okay.
Not that we struggle, but like I'm always trying to figure out how to keep positive dialogue back and forth. And so I'll say something to the effect of, "Hey, here's what I was thinking of for this weekend," or "Here are my thoughts on how we should A, B, C, X, Y, Z. What are your thoughts on that?"
You did that today.
And then I wait. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did that today. I laid out something. I laid out my thoughts on something about to do or how we should do something or whatever the case may be. And then the last thing I said was, "What are your thoughts on that?"
Yeah, I like that.
And so the thing is, one, all your guards are immediately down.
Yeah.
You feel like, wow, okay, one, he cares about what I have to say. And then two, what I am going to say, he's going to value it and take it under consideration. And so, I think that's a good practice to say, here are my thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on this? That sets the framework for a positive outcome of that conversation.
And I like that.
Whatever it is.
I like that.
It sets it sets the tone. So I would suggest that.
Yeah.
And then two, communicate by the other person's personality. So that's going to require some work and effort on your part. Again, that's too much. I don't feel like doing all that. Okay, well, that just shows the area of growth that you need to take.
And that's okay.
If that's too much for you. And that's okay. Like, so I have fun exploring different areas of your personality, trying to find that's what marriage is, learning and discovering more and more and more about your spouse as you grow.
But when you when you do that though, that also allows me to do the same.
Yeah, right.
Because I know for me, I'm really bad at like, well, we're gonna do this, and I don't do it intentionally.
Right. Because we mean well
right.
when we
but
try to
now,
plan out a weekend or plan out this or that.
Right.
Yeah.
But now with you doing that new skill that you're now presenting to the marriage.
I've been in the lab.
Yeah. I can tell.
I've been cooking.
I can tell. That allows me to do the same. Like, hey, Vince, well, I thought we should do A, B, C, D. What are your thoughts? And now we have that dialect.
I'm gonna set up our next episode. What if couples did that when it came to money?
Ooh.
Came to finance.
That's a big one.
Hey, we got $500 in our account.
Ooh, don't tell all our business now.
No, I don't know. I don't know what's in our account. I just made that number up.
No,
please,
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about because you know how I am when it comes to that. I'm like, please don't tell all of them. Okay.
Oh, no. So this is a hypothetical situation, y'all. This is not our financial ledger or budget. But let's just say y'all have $500 in y'all account. Instead of just having this plan for that money already in your mind,
right.
Come to the table and say, hey, babe, we have $500 in our account. Here are some of the things that came across my mind that we could do or we should take care of. Or, hey, what are some of the things that we need to take care of before we blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Because here are some of the things I had in mind.
Right.
What are some of the things you had in mind
right.
when it came to this or whatever? And so it makes a sticky conversation or like a slippery conversation because people fight and argue all the time over money.
Oh,
people
for sure.
get divorces over money. People,
yeah.
That's a whole nother episode. But like it takes what could be a hard conversation and makes it easy because both people feel value at the table. And so
and then you may be surprised in just to learn that you both have the same ideas in regards to the money. So that was good.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
I like those recommendations.
Communicate by the other person's personality.
Yeah.
Like you said, when talking that, I clam up and stuff like that. So okay, how I need to approach Vince with the topic or conversation should be like this and vice versa. And so to get the response out of you that I'm looking to get. And so those are the two things that I would say. So yeah, guys, we appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Always listening. Of course, you can follow us on Instagram at Talks Between Us.
Yes.
We're also on YouTube where there's full episodes and YouTube Shorts.
Yes.
Again, Talks Between Us. We are also on Spotify. So, again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
And a happy 2024 New Year.
Yes. Love you guys.
Exciting things to come. Y'all better stay tuned. I'm telling y'all, exciting things to come. I'm excited. Get in on the ground. Get in while you can, cause man, it's 2024, end of 2023 and beyond. It's gonna be on. Don't wait.
On and popping.
Do not wait until you think it's a better time, or I'm gonna wait and see what they gonna do. Like, no, right now, right. I'm telling you, as sure as I'm sitting here looking at my wife, looking good. Get in. Sorry, y'all. This is what y'all gonna get. Get in now. Team up. Partner up. We always looking to connect with people, network with people. Reach out to us. Email us. Any way that we can collab. Shout you out. Stuff like that. We are looking to partner up and bring inspiration to the homes, families, and communities. So, yeah, that's where we at. Thank y'all so much for listening.
Bye.
Have a good night. Take care.